Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 21st Commitments of Traders Report of 2021. And as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before I start the review, if you are new to COT analysis, then here at COTbase.com we offer a lot of educational material explaining to you what this report is all about, what kind of reports there are, some typical setups. We also have very useful videos for you to better understand how you can analyze this data. Okay, back to the review, and starting off with the first market, which will be copper. We have a 17% change in commercials positions. You can see that in the table over here, commercials being on the left side, large speculators in the middle, and small speculators on the right side of this table. We are of course talking about the legacy or so-called classic COT report type, and we're analyzing the futures and options data. So 17%, what does that mean? We go over here to the chart, and of course commercials are represented with this red line, and that change from roughly 53,000 contracts net short to 37,151 to be specific for this recent report, is the change itself in net positions, of course. That is much larger than average, possibly one of the largest changes, I would say the top 5 in the past 1 year. We're of course looking at a 1-year chart. It is bullish, but I should point out that there was some strengthening in late this week, and we could actually say that this change signal took its effect. Nevertheless, we should be expecting, especially if we switch to the extreme analysis, that there's good chance that this rally would continue in copper that we've been witnessing basically since March of 2020. So why do I say that? Well, basically here we had in February, and I should say throughout the beginning of this year, the end of last year, a bearish extreme, which didn't really resolve in any major shift in the trend. So traders moved away from those extremes, giving space for them to again build up those bearish extremes, which would signal a possibility of a major shift in the trend. That's not the case right now, with the exception of small speculators. So they're still in a more very optimistic zone. The fact that small speculators are so optimistic about this market is in itself, I would say, in the case of copper, of course, a bearish signal. But I wouldn't necessarily, start shorting the market just based on that. It's just a little bit of warning sign just to see everything in perspective where traders are positioning themselves. So just based on the report that I see, I would say there could be further strengthening in copper. The next market will be another metal, palladium, with a 16% change in commercials positions. Switching to the 1-year chart, there you go. Now, a great example here, this 16% would not put us into the top 5 or possibly even the top 10 large changes. So it's larger than average, but nothing huge. It is pointing in the same direction, of course. We're talking about correlating markets, so it is a bullish COT change signal, but we have seen some rise happening on Thursday, Friday. So this signal could be a little bit late for us. Interesting to see palladium at actually bullish extreme levels. It's been the case for quite some time, more than a year now. So that's interesting to see happening at such price levels. But that's the case, meaning if you're in this market for the long, the report doesn't say anything about starting to focus on a possibility of declining prices. Gold, another metal market, a lot of metals this week. Here we have a 13% change, but as you can see from the color, this is a bearish COT change signal. If we switch to the 1-year chart, you can see that over there. But is this something large? No, I wouldn't consider this to be huge. It is larger than average a little bit, but nothing too special to talk about really. And I'm not surprised to see these bearish changes as the price is moving headed higher. So the 5-year chart shows us again a situation where it's not a clear, obvious extreme situation that one would expect. Let's say, if we go back on this 5-year chart to 2018, that was a beautiful bullish COT extreme level. We had a bearish extreme in September of 27. So you can see that we're more or less stagnating. Positions aren't changing that significantly, or there's no trend in the position changes. So I would expect if gold can rally above 2000 or 2100, we may actually see traders increasing their positions, commercials increasing their net short positions, large speculators their net long, and maybe in half a year, 1 year time, we would reach an extreme where we would become more cautious and expect a top possibly. But right now we're just slowly, gradually going towards more bearish extreme levels as we're speaking. Okay, moving on to large speculator COT extreme. We've got heating oil on top of our list with 132 report extreme in large speculators positions. So if you take this horizontal line, we reach that extreme roughly over here in November of 2018. So it is, of course, indicating the extreme building up towards the bearish side of the market, but we're still, a bit further away from those all-time or close to all-time bearish extremes. So again, the same conclusion that we've been coming to in the past couple of markets, this could continue easily. Brazilian real currency for this review, 93 report extreme in large speculators. It's over there, more or less in between the two major extremes. Not something I would be that excited about. So let's just move on and head towards our last market for this review, the natural gas market, with a 57 report extreme in large speculators. That's something over here. Again, not huge dramatic extremes that we can talk about. The last major extreme in natural gas, this bearish COT extreme from October of 2020, but you can see it didn't really have any effect on the market. So we did see a bit of a decline, or at least a halt in this rally that developed in March of 2020. We did see the market gradually go higher after this extreme. We pulled back a little bit. We could not overcome these levels that we had in November. We'll see what happens. Again, not a market that the report is showing us too much about. But hey, we have a lot of markets to analyze. Of course, these reviews show you only a few market categories, but there's much more to analyze. You can see here on the left side panel, we also have cryptocurrencies to analyze. So the CO2 report types is, of course, in the past couple of years, CFTC has released new report types. And here at cotbase.com, we offer you all the report types that are available to analyze. We also offer you the option to analyze the futures only data. But if you want, we actually created the options only data, which I think is very, very unique. If you're someone who likes to analyze even more data sets, we offer you all of these that you can analyze. You can dig deeper in your analysis by looking at, let's say, multiple reports compared to a predefined look back period. You can set that look back to anything you want. You want to look at COT index, that's something you can do. You can analyze the move index, add the long-term trend indicator to the table. You can analyze volume and open interest as well. Of course, you can always go back in time and do your historical analysis on specific reports if you wish. Now, if you're somebody who's trading a few markets, let's say you're interested in the Canadian dollar, you can actually choose the Canadian dollar, do all the settings you're interested in, and then analyze the report specifically for the Canadian dollar. So as you can see, there's a ton of data that you can analyze here at COT Base, and not only in table format, but you can actually analyze, let's say, the commercials long data set here with, of course, the price chart above, and then the data itself below. You can always, let's say you're not interested in the options, only in the futures and options data, you're only interested in futures, so you can take those off. You can download all this. You can export the data if you want. So there's so many ways and tools here at COT Base to analyze the commitments of traders data. It's really amazing. So I really appreciate you being with me in this review. I appreciate your attention. I wish you guys a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you in my next review. Take care. Goodbye.